Okay, guys, it's been a while. Not too many big movies have been out, but now we have a nice big movie with robots fighting and stuff called Real Steel, and I'm going to tell you my real review of it. And really, the only way to properly sum it up and to see if you guys would like it is to just tell you the climax, just the setup for the climax. Okay, so it's the future. You have in this big boxing ring. You have this giant super mega robot named Zeus, the all-time champion machine. And in the other corner, this tiny innocent little robot with a stitched down smile who nobody thought would go anywhere but went all the way, and here he is at the championship. And on that side, you have Hugh Jackman. He used to be a boxer, but now he's a nobody. Nobody gives him a chance. He owes money all over town, but here he is, the championship. And on the other side, you got the evil Asian guy controlling Zeus. He's there with all his controls and all his little afterburner effects, while Hugh Jackman's over there just using his fist because it has a shadow boxing option, and he's literally in there fighting in the ring. And the Asian guy is there just grinding his teeth, going, "Oh no!" and punching through the windows. He's so angry. And to the side is his evil lover, this Russian woman, who's sitting there shaking her head going, "No, impossible, impossible." And over on Hugh Jackman's side, you have the cute little kid, again, who came from nothing, just lost his mommy, looking at the championship, looking at his daddy, with a tear in his eye, in slow-mo, mind you, with the glorious music playing, and also, in the stands, you have Hugh Jackman's girlfriend, who also has tears in her eyes, shaking her head, going, my God, I never thought they would make it this far." That's the setup for the climax. Now, if at any of that you said, okay, that either sounds like really good drama or enjoyably stupid-ass silly, you're gonna love this movie, because that's all the movie is. It's all that 80s cheese, all those movie-constructed cliches that are a ton of fun. And I think they're a ton of fun because there's so much passion put into it. You get the feeling that the people making this movie, like, really believe in these cliches. They really believe in these lines. You know, the scene where Hugh Jackman, looks at the foster parent or something and says, "Just give me one more chance." I mean, it's those great over-the-top hammy moments. It's like Rocky IV. It's like The Wizard. It's like all that schmaltz. I felt like Sylvester Stallone directed this. That's what kind of movie it is. There's even a scene where the Asian guy and the Russian girlfriend, who literally are Drago and the Russian girlfriend, from Rocky IV, there's a scene where he comes out and he's got his hair all spiked up and he's got the cool clothes and stuff, and he points to the big robot Zeus and he says, "Anything he sees, he kills." And of course, that's taken right from Rocky IV with "anything he touches, he destroys." It's like almost word for word. They changed like 2 words. And it's like the exact same thing. It's that kind of hamminess. Now, with that said, if you heard that setup for that climax, it said, "That is the stupidest, most cliche, dumbass thing I've ever heard in my life," that's what you're going to think of the movie. That's pretty much how it works. And the funny thing is that it starts out, surprisingly, you're sort of taking it seriously. You, for whatever reason, sort of accept this world where just robots can fight. They do nothing else in this future, which is very odd. I don't know if that's actually a really clever commentary or a really silly one, or both. But, and Hugh Jackman's down on his luck, and he's always good. I mean, it's funny, I realize I've never seen him, like, incredible, like, great acting-wise. I've never seen him on Broadway, he was great, but I've never seen him, like, really phenomenal, but he's never bad. I just realized I'd never seen a movie that he specifically was bad in. Maybe there is, or maybe it's coming up, but, and yeah, it starts off like you're almost taking it seriously, and you have the woman from Lost, who I'm always going to refer to as the woman from Lost, there at the gym, and they talk seriously. I like how they talk about getting the main event. No, I want this one. There's a lot of business talk about these robots, which I like because it makes it seem almost real. So it starts out almost credible. It's like, okay, if you just accept this stupid idea that robots are fighting now, which maybe isn't that stupid the more I think about it, you could see it happening. you're sort of buying into it, but then as soon as the kid enters into the picture, the kid is a total construct of movies and film. I mean, it's the kid that talks like Fred Savage from The Wizard. I mean, just has this unbelievable vocabulary, just is smarter than anyone else in the movie. Way too freaking smart. In fact, there's one scene, I think after he watches Zeus fight, and he comes out, and for 30 seconds, he's a real kid. He's like, did you see that? That was awesome! He's in there and he's fighting, and he's just, wow, it was incredible! I mean, he's actually talking like a real kid. That's how a real kid would talk. That's only 30 seconds of the movie. The rest of the film, he's Fred Savage, he's Macaulay Culkin, he's that android. He's more robotic than the robots. But I think that's what they were looking for. So I have no idea if this movie was intentionally cheesy, if it was intentionally like Karate Kid 3 or something like that. Whether it was or not, that gives you an idea about what you'll think of it. I'm trying to think what else. The effects, surprisingly, are really good. You sort of see them in the previews and alright, more Transformers effects, whatever, seen that. I know they're not really there. A lot of times, they look like they're there, which is very impressive. I mean, for giant moving robots beating the crap out of each other, which we've seen over and over again, I thought the effects are actually pretty good. Until the end, I think when you get all the lights flashing and the cameras circling around and stuff like that, I mean, that's where it's like, okay, this is computer, they're not there. But on top of that, the fighting is good, and they sort of show you the strategy, you know, which is nice because as the robots are fighting, yeah, Hugh Jackman, the kid, and they're talking about what to do, they're discussing the strategy, and I like that. I think that's, you know, you look at the Rocky movies or any boxing movie, you know, the strategy is always just when they go to the side and they talk about what they're gonna do. I like that during the fight, they're talking about how to maneuver out of this or how to fight back. I think that's really clever. Again, until the end, which is just, there's no strategy, it's just the robot suddenly has willpower. And that's really, and they play off the fact whether or not the robot is kind of alive. There's a scene where they set him up and they have his head facing a mirror and they just have a close-up of him looking at the mirror. That's the kind of movie this is, and I loved it. I was probably laughing way too hard throughout this film, but I saw it with just the right audience. I saw it with the audience that as soon as, like, the robot hit another robot, or in this case, like a bullfight in the South, big shock, with this robot, and I just heard the people behind me just go, ooh, at the first punch. And I remember just thinking, okay, I'm seeing this with the right crowd, because, you know, at the end, people are cheering on the robot. Whenever he gets back up, they go, yeah, I'll go at him. That's the name of the robot, and I saw it with just the right crowd, and I remember afterwards, I saw it with Margot, and we were just laughing the whole way through, and I just said, that was fantastic, that was every cliche, every over-the-top line, everything, you know, and the people behind me that were cheering throughout the whole film just said, I know, right, isn't it great? So, I think the people who were cheering for it and having fun, they knew this was really silly too, but it worked out really well if you like that stuff. So, if you don't like that stuff, if you want to see something you can really take seriously and stuff like that, go see something you can take seriously. I think by watching the trailers you'll know to stay away from this. But if you're looking for good cheese, and there is a lot of passion put into it. I mean, it's not half-assed. You know, all the cliches, of course, have been done to death and they're laughable, but it's not half-assed. They're putting a lot into it. Hugh Jackman, again, is taking it totally seriously. And there actually is a connection between him and the boy, and even with the girlfriend, stuff like that. So the connections are there, and you are sort of rooting for the robot. You want to see him get through and stuff like that. So, it gets its job done. Yeah, that's really about it. So it's sort of like the first Transformers movie. If you look at the trailer, say, hey, I think I'll like this, you'll probably like it. If you look at it and say, hey, this looks really fucking stupid, you're gonna think it's fucking stupid. So, guys, that's about it. Take it for what it's worth, and I shall talk to you later.